business owners. It's Adele from Super Funky Penguin Photography here, and hopefully I'm going to be going live in a second with Amy from Anorak Cat Web Design.
I can see you've requested. You've
I'm
joined.
here.
You're there. Oh, it's so good to see your face.
I'm here. Don't you just hate technology?
Do you know, Amy, I've been practicing all morning and it still went wrong.
I don't know. We didn't do anything differently that time, did we? Nothing
Nothing.
different. That's just Instagram for you. I don't think you did a thing wrong. I think it's just, who knows? Just trying to make you sweat a little bit, Adele. That's what it
Do you know
is.
what? I was doing yoga before this and there's no air coming through the room. I should have opened the window, really, but I'm a little bit, I'm not flustered, I'm just a little bit hot.
Oh no, I'm flustered. I should have done some yoga, I think. Prepare me. Lovely to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining me. Yeah, it's very exciting. So, yes, what are we talking about today? We're talking about websites, aren't we? Of course.
We probably should, because I haven't got much else to say.
So you are part of the absolutely awesome Anorak Cat team. So I was just wondering, it'd probably be a good idea if you kind of introduced what Anorak Cat is all about and what you get up to.
Yeah, well, we build websites. That's about as simple as that. Yeah, me and Rich, we're a husband and wife team. We run our web design business now for just over 5 years. And it's taken me that long to get a little bit brave and to come onto Instagram and do things like this together. But yeah, so we have packages with prices up front of everything you need to be fabulous online. Which is why I'm speaking to you, Adele. Photography, such a big part of it, isn't it? Such a big part.
Absolutely huge. The whole thing, really. I mean, forget about logos and branding and stuff. It's just all about the photos.
Photos. Don't worry about which web designer you choose. I'm just got good photos. Yeah. It's all sorted. Yeah. I'm joking, of course.
Yes. Oh, and obviously so am I. It's a whole package thing, isn't it? You need it all in place for it to work.
There's a lot of experts that you need when it comes to bringing a website together. It's so hard to say this bit's the most important or that bit's the most important. But when people ask me that question, I sort of say about what's most important on a website. When making a website, you've got copy, photography. I say, well, it's a bit like a car. Well, what's more important? The steering wheel, the wheels, the engine. Yeah. Pick one that you don't need. A driver, and it without one, it kind of it's not really complete, is it? So yeah, it takes I don't know, I've gone off on that, but anyway.
No, I love that, Amy. That's such a good analogy. It's like you need the whole thing together before it really works. Like you could kind of cope with a chassis and a steering wheel, but you kind of need the rest of it
exactly
to properly make it flow, drive.
To do anything really, to do anything that you want it to do, basically, you need all those parts, don't you?
So. Yeah. So my first question then is, if you imagine a business owner or a freelancer, they've had a bash at doing their own website and they've realised that it is well beyond them. I'm not speaking from experience, by the way. So you've got a business owner or a freelancer. They've had a go at trying to do their own website. They've realised that it is a bit much. They're looking to get the pros in to help out and get it all sorted. What should they be looking for in a web designer?
Such a big question. It's like the car. It's like the car thing. There's so many things you need to know and take account of when you're choosing a web designer. But I think the most important thing you need to think about, first of all, is to have a clear understanding of what you need as a business owner. What do you need from your website? What do you need it to do for you? It's not just this random piece of a puzzle that you just need to kind of pluck and get done. It's not just a checklist. Oh, I just need a website. That won't get you very far, other than just getting you on the internet, basically. You need to know what it is you need it to do for you, what your goals are, how the goals of your website relate to the goals of your business. So the key thing is to have that understanding first of all before you even think about who's going to fulfill that for you. And then there's a whole nother thing, isn't it? The trouble is that any web designer, any person can come along and say, I can provide you with this, I can make that happen. Anyone that's good at selling themselves can come along and say all these things to you, which is great, but it's still difficult for you to be able to make that decision and choose who you need. And I've written down, when you asked me that question, Adele, because we're so organized, I wrote down a few things to kind of help you. I know you said what's kind of the number one thing a business owner should look for when choosing web design, but I've written kind of a few things for people to think about.
Okay. Oh, this sounds exciting.
So notebooks at the ready.
I have got my notebook at the ready.
People could just rewind and watch this bit again, but I'll say, so first of all, the thing that I'd say not to do, or the thing that would that wouldn't really help you, is when people ask in a massive Facebook group and they say, oh, I'm looking for a web designer who can help me, because you will get thousands of, okay, hundreds of people saying this person. There'll be people selling themselves, there'll be people selling their best mates, there'll be people in there genuinely recommending someone that's done an amazing job for them. But how you filter through that, it just becomes, when I look at those threads and I just think, what is this? I feel for that poor person asking. I think, what are they supposed to do with these like 150 recommendations of all these people? I kind of, and I do, you know, there's amazing web designers in there, 100%, and people making those genuine recommendations, but it's just, how do you know? How do you know, as the person asking, what's genuinely good? Who's genuinely going to help you?
I mean, that's the trouble. If you're not very technical yourself, if you don't understand all the technical terms, how do you weed out the good ones?
Exactly.
How do you know, is it just somebody's mate who can do a landing page for you, or is it somebody that can do the full thing?
Yeah, it's so hard. And that's why I would say the best way to do it is to go on a recommendation from somebody that you know, you trust. Do ask in groups, but maybe ask in like a smaller Facebook group of other business owners that you know already, that will business owners that when you say, please, can you recommend someone that you've worked with, you know, you trust those people already, and that you're going on a genuine recommendation. Then you need to know really what you're going to be getting for your money. So you need the web designer to put in simple terms that you can understand. If you're not very techy and you say to them, I am not technically minded anyway, I just need to know in real terms what you're going to deliver me. I don't want to be wowed by all of this technical jargon, you know. I just want to know, bottom line, how much is it going to cost, and what will I physically get for that, and what does it mean? And hopefully they will spend the time with you, talking you through all those things and answering your questions, so you really know what you're going to get for your money. You need to know what platform they're building it in, and if you will be able to make changes and updates to it yourself. You need to check that you will own the website, that it's not them own. Yeah, it does happen. It's rarer these days, but still comes up a lot where we have new clients come to us, but then the old designer won't hand it over. It's rare, but it does still happen, believe it or not. And I'm sure if there's any other web designers that watch this back, they'll say, yes, I've seen that happen too. So make sure, just double check, will I own the website?
I had no idea. That's really interesting.
It's a thing. They can hold you ransom for it as well, because you think about it, if they bought the domain and they own the domain, and you know, and they're saying, if they're building it and saying it's mine, then you just need to be careful of that, you know. Can they help? How much help will they give you in terms of preparing the content and what you need to create for them? Because what your web designer will say to you is, I need your photographs, I need your copy, I need your any content, anything that your branding, your logo, your colors, your fonts, all of those things they'll need in order to make the website. Now, if you don't have those, you need to know that you're going to get that support to get those in place. You might have it already. You might have had a website that you've done yourself previously or by somebody else, and you might all have that in hand, which is lovely. But I know a lot of people will watch this and go, well, I don't have those things. So what would I say to my web designer when they ask for my, you know, content, my copy? And writing copy it sounds very easy until you're presented with that blank page and you go, well, I have to sell myself and write about myself, and suddenly it becomes something of a nightmare. Anyway, so what support will they give you? and how much will they help you through the process? Because and just ask that question, how much will you help me, and see what the answer is. Because it might be that they say, yes, we will do this with you, and you have this session and that session. Or it might be, well, I will start building it when you give it to me. And in all honesty, Adele, between you and me, anyone watching, when we started, that's what we did. We would say, we will build you your website, you give us your content, and we'll start building it once we've got it. And it's only once we had kind of gone through this process a few times, and I was saying, these people are really struggling, and they're sending messages saying, I'm struggling, I haven't got my copy written. And I would go back and say, okay, let's talk about this. What's the struggle? And we've developed it. So this is why there's so much support now in all our packages. And it's sort of like, we're supporting you whether you like it or not. Because everyone
but
needs
it's true, because people don't necessarily know what they want and what they need when they start off on that route. So it's only when they go, oh yeah, I need a website, and then, oh, copy, yeah, okay, colors, logos, photos, and it can feel really overwhelming. Where do you even start?
Exactly.
So,
so someone to be able to support you with those decisions, even if it's not them doing it. Like one thing I would say about with us is that we're not experts in everything. We're not photographers, we're not copywriters. We have branding experts that we work with now. It's like, and we're experts in building the website and making sure it does everything you need it to do for your business. But there's lots of elements that need to be brought together, and we don't sit here and say, I can do all of that. I can help you with this, that, and the other. We have people. We've kind of got a bit of a wider team now, so that you've got help.
It's the Anorak Cat community, Amy. You're a community of experts, aren't you?
Community, yes.
You've found those experts that work really well in line with your business, and brought them all together into one place so that you can properly deliver things that, a package that helps people, and they're not feeling overwhelmed by, do you know how long I spent trying to figure out my own brand colours, Amy? And I'm a photographer, should be able to do that sort of thing. It was years. Do you know what? Years.
It's so hard. Isn't it hard working on your own business? And I'm sure we've all got business friends as well, kind of, that run businesses, that we're there. When you sit with a coffee with your other business buddies, you give them all this great advice, and you're like, where does this come from? Why can't I do this for myself? It's just so hard to see, isn't it?
It is.
For yourself.
It is really hard. That's why you need to get the help in. You need to get the experts.
You need to get the help in. You do. What was I going to say? So asking what support you're going to get through the process. So I told you it's a long list, Adele. Sorry, I'm nearly there.
This is great. This is gold. I'm loving this.
Okay. What's their website like? Have a look at their website and see, because I've seen it before. Does anyone else do this? Like, a little bit nosy. When you these Facebook threads I mentioned before, where someone's looking for a web designer and you see like 100 million recommendations, and you go and have a little look and see like, oh, haven't heard them before. Who are they? Like, oh, they're great. Oh, they're new kids on the scene. And you look, and then you're like, it's like it doesn't work properly on a mobile, and these kind of things. And you're thinking like, oh, that's interesting. So do check out their stuff as well.
That's a really important point you've raised there, though, because when you try to put a website together, it does look different on a computer, on a desktop, to on a tablet or a phone. And you can get really caught out with that, because it can look crap on the phone. And a lot of people are now doing all their shopping, and the other part of my business is wedding photography. A lot of people plan their whole weddings, apparently, according to research, a lot of people plan their whole weddings just on their phone. They never go to the desktop to check out suppliers. And as a photographer, I'm horrified, because you can make photos look really good if they're tiny but blurred. You can't tell. Look at it on a big screen, but just getting a feel for a company. A lot of, when you're putting a website together, you think about making it look right on a desktop. You can't forget about the importance of the phone, and if it messes up when you try and access it that way, if it's really slow to load,
that's all the things.
People
so true.
Move on, don't they? If the website doesn't load, move on to the competition.
Exactly, but especially when you're planning a wedding, Adele, you're whizzing through these various suppliers, and you're checking out and this is what people do, not just for wedding supplies, this is for anybody that's, you're looking for anything on the internet now. We're not going to invest time in something that doesn't look like it's going to fulfill our needs.
Yeah.
So if within a second or two, literally, you go to the website, and if it's not loaded, of course you're not going to hang around. But if you get to the website and for whatever reason, it's a whole nother discussion, Adele, but it's not looking great, and it's not
Yeah.
reassuring you straight away that you're in the right place, you're going to go somewhere else because, hey, there's 10 other suppliers, there's 10 other florists you're about to check out,
Yeah.
and
you'll forget about the one that doesn't load.
you'll just move on. You will, if it doesn't look easy and it doesn't look like they're the right people for you, they will move on. Anyway, so check out their website. What does their portfolio look like? That's an important one. Do you like their work? Testimonials, looking at their Google reviews. But most of all, speaking to people who have used them. There's nothing better than actually speaking to somebody that, as is why I said about getting recommendations from your business buddies, because if you can speak to someone that used them, they will tell you over a coffee, especially maybe it's difficult on Facebook, isn't it? It's very public, and the person doesn't want us to kind of like, slag off the person. I'm sure people don't want to say, I don't know if they say bad stuff about me, I don't know, but you wouldn't want to say it to their face. Have a coffee with them, get that behind a closed door and say, look, I'm really not sure who to choose. Can you just tell me like the good and the bad? Like, what did you really like about Anorak Cat? What didn't really work for you? Ask the real questions that you need to know the answers to. Were there any hidden costs that they slapped on at the end? Do they really give that much support? Those sorts of things. Like, ask people, because it's too much money to just take a chance on. I mean, we've spoken about our package before. It's £1,500 plus VAT. It's not the most expensive website in the world, this package, but it's still, obviously there's other packages that cost thousands of pounds, but so it's on the more accessible side. But £1,500 is £1,500, and whether you call that a bargain or not for what you get, that's still a lot of money. And whoever's charging you, whether it's £500 or £5,000, you need to, that's real money that could just be,
it's an investment
away.
It's an investment, and it's not just an investment in money, it's an investment in time, because they're going to be working with you to get the website right.
Well, hopefully they do. Hopefully they don't just leave you. Hopefully there's a lot of support there, and I think that's my last point, was about the support. Asking them, okay, great, this all sounds wonderful, love your portfolio, great recommendations, but what's going to happen once I've launched my website? Because anyone watching this that's got a website knows it doesn't end at the launch. You don't just launch your website and then say like, bye web designer, you're back in touch with them because something changes in your business, or you get new ideas, or just the structure of things change,
or
and
Amy, you get hacked,
or you get hacked. Then you want a web designer on hand,
then
right?
you want somebody that you can just go help and they're going to leap in and rescue you in hours.
Exactly. We have wonderful clients now that have actually, it's a sad route they've come to us because they've had bad experience or they've been hacked or something, but then somebody recommends them to us and we sort them out, and we're there for them forevermore if they want us to be.
Technology moves really fast, doesn't it? And there's all these updates that you have to keep up with, and so the hacking thing that happened to me because I've built and run my own website, and I didn't have time to do all the security updates during lockdown when everything went a little bit awry with childcare and all of that. So it's knowing that you've got that aftercare, that somebody is going to be going through and doing those security updates and doing the theme updates and all that stuff to make sure that your website keeps looking good as the world changes and as technology moves on, because it happens so fast.
And you've got to ask that question at the beginning. You need to know at the beginning what's going to happen at the end. You're asking questions about the whole process and what will happen at the end. What will happen if this? What will happen if that? Just so you know, because hopefully it's a long-term relationship that you're going to have with your web designer. This is something I was going to say later on, but I was like, if someone was chatting to me, if you're watching this and you think, God, she's a bit annoying, Amy's a little bit annoying, don't really like her, I would recommend not working with us, because you actually see quite a bit of us. Me and Rich.
How does anyone think that?
Each to their own. Like she rambles on a bit, whatever. You're going to see a lot of us. and hopefully whichever web designer you choose, you're going to see a lot of them. You're going to be working closely with them because you need them. It's almost like we become an extension of people's team.
Yeah.
When they need help, it's like that. There's I say Amy. It's really when you need help after launch, it's usually Rich. To be honest, I help with the getting ready, and Rich is there doing all the things, problem solving and fixing and updating and upgrading and everything else. But yeah. So anyway, see, oh, stop. Ramble.
Well, don't, because if you stop, I'll start, and then
What else would you like to know? What else would you like to know?
You actually just answered. I was going to ask a little sub question. I was going to sneak one in there. It was about, how important do you think it is to actually get on with your web designer? Because there might be somebody who's really, really technically competent, but then you have a conversation with them and you're just like, either you don't understand the jargon they're using, but they know what they're doing, so you can just leave it with them, or maybe they just wind you up the wrong way, because we don't always gel with everybody, do we?
No, we don't. I think it depends person to person. We're all people at the end of the day, aren't we? And I guess there's lots of people that once they've got their website, there's lots of clients, to be honest, that we never hear from. They're busy getting on with business and they're doing their thing and it works for them, but there's other people that need more support, and that's absolutely fine. We're here when you need us. So you could, in theory, if your web designer wasn't very nice and you didn't really kind of get on with them very well, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It's just about what kind of person you are and what kind of relationship you would want with them, because we're definitely very people.
If there's help you need or tweaks you want to do to your website, you're going to be a bit reluctant to go and talk to somebody that just makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, aren't you?
True. Or if you don't,
is that why you don't hear from some of them, Amy?
Don't. I hope they're all happy. If it's not happy, like, drop me a line. I think you want to be able to ask a question and for somebody to answer it in the way that you need it answered. That sounds strange, but Rich knows. When we work with somebody, we work so closely with them that Rich knows the ones that really need the detail, the technical detail. They want it, they love it, they want to hear it, and he gives it. There's other clients that are just like, just tell me the bottom line. What does this mean to me? Don't use any fancy words. Just what does this mean? What has happened?
I really appreciated that about Rich, that because I have a technical background, but I don't know the nitty-gritty of websites, and he was able to explain it in a way that wasn't at all patronizing, but it was in a way that I could understand without feeling like, I'm not just a girl who doesn't know what she's doing. But
he's really good at making that kind of judgment of where somebody is,
really
and not being patronizing versus not
being too high level.
But you need to think about these things, because that's the reality of entering into a relationship with a web designer, is that you're gonna need to have conversations with them, and it needs to be with somebody that you feel like you can have those with, and that you can ask those what you would call silly questions, or oh, I'm so sorry to ask this, I feel really stupid, I should know this. People say, I'm like, no, you shouldn't know this. You wouldn't be paying us if you should know it. If you know it, you go and build it, you go and look after it, but you don't know, so you shouldn't know, and we wouldn't have a job if you knew. So
that's a very, very good point. You're there to answer the
you not questions. To know. Please don't learn about this stuff.
We don't want everybody doing everything for themselves, because then we're all out of a job.
Yeah, I mean, saying that though, it is important. That's one of my earlier points, that you can use and update your website yourself. That needs to be simple. You need your website built in something, which means that you can go in and change photographs and change text and add blogs without messing everything up. You need all that to be straightforward. It's kind of what we're talking about really is the more the ongoing care, the security, and the updates, and the technical bits. That's kind of what we mean by that. But what else would you like to know, Adele?
Oh, do you know, I'm having to look down at my notes now, because that's just all blown my mind, really. Here's a good one. What is the biggest mistake that you've seen people make with their websites?
So easy, this one. Lack of clarity. Every time. It's the lack of clarity. What you offer, who do you help? I think sometimes people are so used to working in their business every day. They know exactly what they do and how they do it. something happens in your brain that makes you assume that other people know that.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, well, I'm being too, if I just say, I do this, it's too obvious. I can't even think what we've got on our website at the moment, but it's something about we build websites. We're called Anorak Cat Web Design, and we still say we build websites and do
Yeah.
just, people need to feel like, okay, right, this is what they do. And I think that might sound silly to some people, but actually when you're in the kind of like a digital marketplace, people are offering all sorts of various techie, IT, digital marketing products. People want to know when they come, this website's cool. I'm in the right place. I'll stay. I'll stick around. I'll read on. And it's kind of, it's just hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's, and when Rich says to me, he sends me a website sometime, like he's been chatting to someone and he passes me websites quite a lot. Says, can you have a look at this website? Tell me what you think it's about. Don't scroll down. So just above the fold, I have to stay above the fold, which means not scrolling. What you can see, look at that, Amy, and you tell me what you think they do. Love it. It's a really fun game because you could come up with all sorts. And it's interesting for the client to kind of hear that and say, well, this is what somebody who knows nothing about your business thinks that you do. How can we make that clearer? And it's literally as simple as that. And I know I laugh and say it's a game. That's just because it's, it's interesting.
It's a good game.
But it's really important.
We've all stumbled across those websites, and you look at it and you go, I literally have no idea what I've scrolled. I've gone to page 2. I've clicked. I still don't know what you do.
Are you selling me something? Are you just telling me about something that you do? Is this just going to be a blog about your life and what you've done with your life, or are you offering me something that I can purchase? That you're going to help me in some? It's it can be difficult. Yeah, so I would say that's the biggest thing, I think. It's just that lack of clarity.
Yeah. It's that, and as you say, above the top fold. So the fold is where when somebody just first opens up the website, it's everything they can see on that first before they scroll, isn't it?
Before they do anything. Yeah, it's just a really, really important place. It's worth, if you do anything else today, and if you've got a website, just show somebody that doesn't know, the next new friend you make, or just someone at the bus stop, say to them, what do you think this does? And just see what they say. It'll be so interesting.
They might say, go away. Just stop and start randomly talking to somebody, especially with the mask on at the moment. Oh no, we don't need to wear them anymore, do we?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just approach people maskless. What does this do?
Area. What do you think I do? Yeah, okay, maybe not all my advice is great, but you get what I mean.
No, I love it. I would, that's going to pop into my head next time I'm queuing to go in the shop. I'm going to think, right, I'll just get my website up.
Ask the person behind you what they think.
I think quite a few people in the village know what I do already, though, so that's not going to help much.
Find a new audience. Yeah. Find a cold audience.
I think you may have just answered my next question, so I might ask for your second piece of advice. If you could give a business owner or freelancer one piece of advice about how to improve their website right now, what would it be?
Okay, so obviously that it's difficult because ideally I'd be able to see their website first. It's difficult to tell like what one thing somebody could do without seeing their website. But I think the advice I would give them, no matter what, would be to just close your laptop and like, move away from your website and just plan, start thinking and have a conversation with somebody about what your business is, what it does, what you want your website to do for you. Go back to those basics, but really what it's trying to achieve away from your website. And then look at your website. And I think you will probably be able to answer a few of those, make a few changes yourself based on what you've just realized by comparing what you ideally want it to do and what you've actually got in front of you. I expect you could probably go, oh well, I want to get more bookings on my workshops. Well, where does it say book on a workshop or book a call or whatever it is, join my free whatever. You can say, I really want everyone to join my free thing, but you don't mention it on your homepage at all.
That's a good point. And there's a world of difference. Sorry, go on.
No,
I was just going to say there's a world of difference between some businesses literally only need a landing page and that's it. And other businesses need a sort of full-on shop showing all their products or all their services. And there's just a huge difference between quite a simple basic landing page, and then the whole full-on thing and everything in between. So yeah, you're right, it's thinking about what you want your website to do for you, because you know, we as business owners, we all think, yeah, I need a website, but what does that actually mean for that particular business?
Exactly.
So,
And it
yeah,
can be so
whole
varied that
different.
the only way to get to that is to really plan and focus on yours and think about it, what your goals are, and if this piece of, you know, this piece of marketing collateral that you've got that is your website, if that's actually helping you with that, or whether it's just sort of sitting there waving, doing
is it
nothing.
something else sapping away time and money when all
Oh,
you need is a simple something?
exactly.
Or on the other end of it, which is, because I think I've been down the too simple end, is can you actually put more on your website to take away all the time you're wasting on other stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
What a balancing act, being able to kind of have enough information on there for people to have clarity and a good understanding of what you do, and you putting that information on the right page at the right time with the right amount in the right way.
yeah,
Versus putting so little that it's kind of great and easy to consume because it's like tiny little pieces, but people are left like, I don't really still know what you do, and there's too many questions left over. Like I love an FAQs. I love an FAQs at the bottom of your homepage or somewhere. FAQ sections are brilliant.
writing that down, Amy. I don't have one of those.
Oh, FAQs, add that. Start working on that. Brilliant, because you know it doesn't take up much space. You can have like a, what's it called, a kind of concertina thing where you've just got the questions and you can click on the one that.
Yes.
Everyone loves an FAQ. Oh, other thing I was going to say, obviously, to improve your website, of course, you'd be looking at things like your photography. Of course, you know all about that. The impact
A little bit.
that can make. People could just follow your account, can't they, to kind of get more info on why that's so important. The clarity in your copywriters are worth their weight in gold. They're amazing. And call to actions. That's another simple thing to do to improve your website. Just have a look and be like, have you got call to actions? Are they bright, bold, obvious, unmissable? And a call to action is giving somebody a direction to do something, whether that's book a call. We've got book a call on ours. Oh no, request an intro pack is our main goal. The main thing we want people to do is to request an info pack, and then we kind of take them on a journey from there. But for different businesses, it'll be different things. Like I say, like book a call, join this group, or whatever it is. But it needs to be bold, obvious, and repeated throughout your homepage and throughout your website. But how can you come up with a call to action if you haven't thought and planned what you actually want people to do? You can't just anything. It needs to be relevant to what you want people to do. Anyway.
Katie, MS is my superpower, says it's so much harder to do for yourself. That is so true.
Oh my goodness, don't speak to me about our own website. I said check out web designers' websites. The website we've got up at the moment is actually our old website. We've had a new one come in for the last 2 years. You just don't do your own stuff, do you?
No. I've only just got my own photos done of me. So yeah, I know you spend so much time doing your job for other people that you forget to, or you don't prioritize the time to do it for yourself.
No,
so yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
And I was going to say something else, because what were we just talking about?
Call to actions.
Call to action. Yes, I was going to say, there's nothing more frustrating, is there, than you found somebody that you really, really want to work with. You're literally sitting there with the money going, I want to work with you. And then you go to the website like, I don't know how to get in touch with you. What do I do? There's no email address? There's no button? There's no contact me page? What do I do?
Yeah, exactly. And then you feel like, or sometimes if the website looks a little bit dodge, you put your query through and you think, I wonder if that's got there, because it went through and you kind of got no reply, and it's a week later and you're thinking, has that gone into their spam? And I don't feel that certain now. I don't want to chase them up and be that annoying person. So many things. That's why it's great if you are booking calls with people to have a link to something like Calendly or Acuity on your website. Let people book that in at a time that suits them. Of course it's convenient for you because you've put the slots available for them, and of course it's convenient for them because they get to choose which day, which time, and then they know they're booked in. And anyway, that's another conversation.
And the whole Calendly thing, it's important. That's one of the things I was talking about getting a slightly more involved website that does a bit more for you, because I was spending so much time. If I had two or more queries coming in at the same time and people want to set up a chat, I've only got a certain amount of time. So I'd offer the dates and times to one person and then have to wait for them to come back to me before I could then offer the slots to somebody else, which was ridiculous. So
Yeah.
yeah, something like Calendly is just brilliant because you say you
Perfect.
set it up, you have it integrated in your website, which I haven't done yet. But you have it
Yeah.
integrated in your website, and then people can just, they know that you're available at that time, and you haven't got clashes between different people trying to book the same slot. So yeah,
Game changer.
it is a game changer. It's just like, yeah, why didn't I do that years ago? Why didn't you tell me this years ago, Amy?
Sorry. I've only just got to Instagram sharing my tips, haven't I? Like, yeah.
Showing you what? That's one way to
Tips.
get more followers. Tips.
Tips. I get my tips out. Yeah. Nothing else. You crack me up, Adele, honestly.
That's
Oh, I
completely
should
thrown
fan
me now.
myself now.
Oh, moving very
Moving
swiftly
on.
on. Okay, last question then. What special magic does Anorak Cat offer to their clients? Basically, why should a business owner or freelancer book with you?
Oh, the magic. Do you know what? I'm still not sure what the answer to this question is. There's a little blank space kind of under that question. But really,
Chocolate brownies, Amy. It's the chocolate brownies.
oh, it's the chocolate brownies. Gets people every time. Yeah. We look after people though. We actually care about people. I know you mentioned the brownies. It's about like
Yeah.
looking after people. You get me enriched. That's the magic really, is that you get me enriched kind of on your team. There's nothing else I could really say that I've probably not alluded to a little bit today in terms of the support you get and having everything you need. I say in one place. It's not just in one place because I said, we have other experts that we bring in. And I know I've been working with you recently, Adele, with a client that's had
Yeah.
photography added on, and it's just seamless. They know they're getting a great photographer. I'm organising it all. I'm kind of bringing the bits in. If they said they needed a copywriter as well, it's like, just tell me, or Rich, and we'll make that happen for you. Because as a business owner, you've got so many other balls up in the air, things, space, can't even say plates spinning. You just want to know that you've got Amy and Rich are going to help you with everything, bring it all together. I've mentioned this package that we've got. It's called the Total Package. It's called that because it literally brings in everything you need. This one is for a service-based business, everything they need to get more clients, bring the whole thing together, no matter what state your branding might be in or your copy or anything like that. You get one-to-one help. One-to-one sessions.
I think it's probably important to note that you're not just recommending other experts in other fields. You're the person dealing with them. So the client comes to you and pays you, and then you get the experts in. And the way we do it is that for the photography. So you and I had a Zoom call with the client to plan the shoot together. So we knew exactly which slots on the website and aspect ratios and all of that. We knew exactly which shots we were getting, and you were a big part of that, making sure that we were aiming for the right things. And
it's quite a new package, this package. It is quite a new one, and seeing that process kind of seamlessly coming together. And for the client, that's so important, isn't it? They've paid for their website, they've paid for their photography already. They've got that all organized in one place. Me and you are talking to each other. Me and other experts are talking to each other. We can have those conversations and make it, and then just kind of deliver it to the client without the stress and without, for them as well. I know what it's like trying to find experts. Who can I trust? So if they have found us from whatever way, from recommendation usually, and they think, Amy and Rich are the team for me. If you're trusting us, then hopefully you're trusting the people that we're bringing in. It's the trusting our judgment on who we're bringing in, because we're not going to bring people in that can't deliver, So you kind of, that's why you get the total package.
You're there to kind of organize it and keep it all together. It's not just they go off and then work with the expert and then come back with something. And actually it was really useful for me because the client that we worked with together had also got their branding done through your branding expert. And I was then able to see the brand, what's it called? The
brand guidelines?
The brand guidelines.
The guidelines. Love guidelines.
So I could see the guidelines and I could see exactly what your branding expert Lucy had come up with, and I understood the vision. So I could then bring that in with the photography, and it really makes my life easier, and it means the client gets something that's properly usable, that fits in with the website design. So,
That's it. You see, and that's my role really, is the bringing it all together and the support and what have you. Rich builds, Rich designs and builds and looks after. He's very much, that's what he does. People say to me, what do you do then, Amy, if you don't build the websites? All of that, basically. Everything that you've just said. And Instagram as well. Bit marketing as well.
Yes, if anybody hasn't checked out your Instagram, they really, really need to, because you have me in stitches most days, Amy.
Come and follow me. Yeah,
Brilliant.
if anyone's watching this, they're not following me. I share website tips. They're not as hilarious as Adele makes that, I promise you. But yeah, we share website tips. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, whether you're on Wix, WordPress, Squarespace. The tips are quite general. Just website tips as to get more bookings and whatnot, make your website better, basically. So
brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, well, I've run out of questions. I probably haven't. I could probably come up with quite a few more, but
we'll do it again one day.
I'm very aware. We were aiming for 20 minutes and we have slightly overshot that, Amy.
I knew that would happen. I knew it.
Once we start talking, that's it, isn't it?
Can't shut me up.
So I will let you go and enjoy. Have you got anything nice planned for lunch?
No, but I will need some lunch. I don't know about you, but I get so anxious about doing these lives and things. I can't eat beforehand. So now I'm just going to go and relax and chill. Like, my work here is done.
Yeah, your work here is done, all sorted. And as long as I press the right button, it'll go into IGTV and then people can watch it again.
Thank you so much for having me, though. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been absolutely lovely chatting with you. And I hope, I mean, there was so much information there that I hope everyone's got something out of it. I know I have, which is brilliant. So yeah, let's spread the love and the knowledge and the good tips.
Yeah. Keep it clean, Adele. Keep it clean. I'll see you soon, lovely.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.